Tonight we look at a crisis unfolding across the American heartland. It began with a single number, 145%. That's the tariff China placed on American soybeans in spring 2025, shutting out U.S. farmers from their biggest customer. For decades, China bought billions in U.S. soybeans every year. Now, that relationship is shattered. The announcement sent shockwaves through the agricultural community. Imagine nurturing your crops for months, only to lose your main buyer overnight. That's the reality for countless farmers. China was the destination for over half of all U.S. soybean exports. Now, a mountain of unsold soybeans sits with nowhere to go. The docks are quiet. Ships that once carried soybeans to China are gone. For the first time in 2 decades, China has made no advance orders for the U.S. harvest. U.S. soybean exports to China have plummeted by 51% in 2025, hitting a 20-year low. Farmers are left holding a product that's lost much of its value, watching their financial security evaporate. The tariff wasn't just a political move, it was a devastating blow to American agriculture. Families who've worked the same land for generations now face losing everything. The fields that once symbolized prosperity now represent a gamble that didn't pay off. This isn't just about trade policy, it's about people, families, and the future of rural America. The impact is being felt in every corner of the heartland. To understand how we got here, we have to look back at a trade dispute simmering for years. The 145% tariff was China's retaliation for U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods, first imposed in 2017. The U.S. aimed to pressure China and boost American manufacturing, but every action has a reaction. China struck back where it hurt most American agriculture. Soybeans became the primary weapon in this escalating trade war. In 2024, China imported over $13 billion in U.S. soybeans to feed its massive pig population. By targeting soybeans, China aimed to inflict maximum pain on a politically vital group. President Trump's demand that China quadruple U.S. soybean purchases was ignored, deepening the standoff. Instead of de-escalating, both sides dug in. American farmers became collateral damage in a battle between superpowers. Their livelihoods were used as leverage in high-stakes negotiations far from their fields. China's move was calculated to cut off U.S. farmers, create pressure on Washington. The pain would echo through rural communities, influencing politics. But for families watching their incomes disappear, geopolitics offered no comfort. They played by the rules, produced what the world wanted, and now pay the price for decisions made far away. The tariff wasn't just a tax, it was a wall between American farmers and their most important customer. The fallout is personal, not just political. The economic fallout for American farmers has been catastrophic. With China gone, a surplus of soybeans has crashed prices, down 40% since 2022. Corn prices have dropped 50%. Many farmers now sell below the cost of production. The financial pressure is crushing, and it's taking a toll on mental health. The suicide rate among farmers is now 3.5 times the national average. The dream of passing the farm to the next generation is fading. Some are selling land held for a century, others are leaving farming altogether. Every lost farm is a lost piece of America's heritage. A 51% drop in exports isn't just a number, it's empty grain elevators and worried calls to the bank. These figures mean sleepless nights and hard choices for families. The human cost of this trade dispute is immense. Economic policies have profound, personal consequences. The crisis on the farm doesn't stay on the farm, it ripples through the entire economy. When farmers lose money, they stop spending, especially on big-ticket items like tractors and combines. John Deere, a symbol of American farming, has laid off hundreds as demand plummets. Profits are down 25%, sales have dropped 9%. When farmers can't buy equipment, factory workers lose jobs. The pain spreads to dealerships, parts suppliers, truck drivers, and small-town diners. A new combine costs hundreds of thousands, delaying that purchase hurts the whole community. The entire rural and industrial ecosystem is interconnected. Tariffs cause farm incomes to fall, which leads to cutbacks and layoffs. Lower sales mean factory layoffs, hurting local economies. The trade war has created a chain reaction of hardship. The fate of the farmer and the factory worker are deeply intertwined. What started as a political strategy now threatens entire communities. The impact is felt far beyond the fields. China didn't stop using soybeans. It pivoted to Brazil. Brazilian farmers now fill the void left by the U.S., shipping soybeans to feed China's massive pig herds. This shift has rerouted global trade, creating new winners and losers. China now relies heavily on Brazil, risking supply shocks from drought or floods. To reduce risk, China is boosting its own soybean production, aiming for a 38% increase by 2034. If successful, global demand for U.S. soybeans may never fully recover. The world is adapting to a new reality. China is building a future without American farms. It's diversifying suppliers and investing in domestic agriculture. For U.S. farmers, this is the most worrying development. The lost customers may never return. The damage from this trade war may be permanent. American agriculture must find a new place in a changed global landscape. The political roots of this crisis run deep. The tariffs that sparked the trade war were a Trump-era policy, aiming to rebalance trade with China. To soften the blow, the U.S. authorized $60 billion in farm aid, but most went to the largest agribusinesses, not struggling family farms. Critics say the aid is a temporary, unequal bandage that doesn't fix the loss of export markets. Meanwhile, farmers have battled extreme weather, a devastating drought in 2023, then floods and crop disease in 2024. The one-two punch of volatile markets and severe weather has been devastating. The financial cushion that might have helped is gone. Farmers are fighting on two fronts, against global politics and against nature. The American agricultural sector is being pushed to the brink. Amid the hardship, a faint glimmer of hope has appeared. In July 2025, Congress passed a tax bill with bonus depreciation, giving farmers a tax break on new equipment. The hope encouraged spending and boost companies like John Deere. But a tax break can't solve the core problem: low crop prices and lost markets. Farmers with no profit and mounting debt are unlikely to invest, no matter the incentive. The tax bill is a small solution for a massive problem. The story of the American farmer in 2025 is one of struggle against powerful forces. A trade war brought financial ruin to the heartland, with consequences for farmers, factory workers, and communities. Extreme weather and flawed aid have compounded the crisis. While there's a sliver of hope, the future for American agriculture remains deeply uncertain.